All right, so somebody asked why I'm not using Framer to ostensibly build a curated collection of resources about Framer, right? Makes sense. Why choose WordPress if you're dedicating Framer love to Framer? And it's obviously a good question. So here are my reasons. And I think this is actually, it kind of captures where the difference lies between something like WordPress at this stage and something like Framer for a more, I don't want to say complicated site, but for a site that has lots of resources and community submitted content, like user generated content, and maybe some forms and things like that. All right, so number one, I want people to have the ability to submit content, right? So these would be themes and templates and tutorials and things like that, like using a very directory style approach. And this is very easy to do on WordPress, and it's a lot tougher to do on Framer, at least for a dum dum like myself. And that's right now. That may change, in a week, in a month, in a few months. I don't know. I'm recording this in November of 2023. All right. So the next thing is I want people to be able to vote up or down submissions and see stats on views and things like that so that people in the public can see, what content on Framer Love is most popular and can see which, things are most voted on, and they can vote themselves, etc. Like I like that style of user experience for this sort of site. I've used it on many other sites, and I kind of try to emulate and replicate things that have worked in the past. All right, I don't know how to do that on Framer, so again, WordPress makes sense. All right, this is really important. I need to be able to quickly and easily post links that pre-populate with, the open graph data, I guess it's called. So pictures and like excerpts and things like that, and links. I have a plugin again that does this on WordPress really, really well, and it allows, for content that I post really quickly from the front end to pre-populate in large measure using this WordPress kind of process. And again, and that plugin is called Snacks. I've been using it for years. I've been recommending it for years. Unfortunately, the folks behind that plugin have kind of dicked around a little bit with their customer service, and it seems like folks are largely unhappy with how they've been treated over the last year or so by this particular theme developer for WordPress that makes this plugin. But I don't have that problem. I don't need support for it. I don't use their themes. I just use this plugin. So I'm still as happy today with this plugin as I was, 4 years ago when I bought it, 5 years ago when I bought it. Again, I would have no idea how to post links quickly that pre-populate data, pictures, excerpts, links, etc., videos on Framer. I don't know that it's possible. Um, and again, at least see item number one for a dum dum like myself, it would make this process too complicated. All right, number four, I'm pretty good with WordPress. I'm not a developer, I'm not a designer, I'm not a coder, I'm a writer, but I understand WordPress fairly well. So this makes this whole proposition pretty easy. Number five, this is actually a little bit of a kind of strategic thing, but I want to be able to serve up different content via sidebars on different collections of content for higher conversion rates. So again, this dovetails, into past sort of processes that have been perfected to one degree or another. Nothing's ever perfected, but that have worked well, right? So I can, let's say, post a collection of themes, templates, or resources by a specific author, and then create a sidebar for that author on Framer Love, which shows just his or her pictures and links to other themes, a bio, ads, they can sell services directly from, Framer Love as well using that sidebar approach. And essentially it would give me the potential, if I wanted to create like a mini kind of multi-vendor, multi-author style vibe for the site, which again, I would absolutely have no idea how to do that on Framer. Actually, let me walk that back. I could do that on Framer, just not with the sidebars. I don't think I would do it via a theme that would be styled or coded for for multi-author, multi-vendor, a marketplace style, kind of storefront. There are themes that are out there like that already, but I don't love them. There are a couple that I've only seen a couple, and those that I've found I kind of like, but I don't. I'd have to buy them, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't think it would be as effective as the approach I just mentioned below. So, in other words, I could have a single vendor with his or her themes and resources, but I couldn't make a lot of other edits that would allow them to really customize the landing page on Framer Love for that particular author. All right, number six, cost, right? I don't want to spend more money on hosting, and we kind of have unlimited access to WordPress installs per the different agency plans that either I pay for or that I have access to through other folks in my entrepreneurial orbit, partners, etc. And that makes it like completely free almost. I'm already paying for these kind of managed WordPress hosting accounts, so just to add a new site is a trivial, effort. It's a trivial burden, and it makes it very easy to do this on Framer and to do it on a branded domain. It would incur an immediate monthly cost, I think, of about $25 or so, and I don't want to pay that. And I don't recommend anyone else who's doing something like this pay that either, unless you're like really all in as like like this is a project that you're really going to be working on, I don't know, full time or close, right? This is like purely a side project thing that came to me after like 8 glasses of wine one night. I love Framer. I'm playing with Framer a lot. I'm spending a lot of my free time kind of exploring Framer. And I just figured, why not, create a site that sort of showcases what Framer has to offer to folks like me, right? Authors, entrepreneurs who are not designers, who are not developers, but who are looking for great looking, web software, web design software that's easy to understand, easy to learn, easy to publish, and that, ostensibly improves conversions on the stuff we're already selling. All right. And there are, some other reasons as well, which I am not going to cover here, but like speed, scale, submissions, and stats. Those are really the most important to me for a curated content site of this sort. All right. And the last thing is I will, of course, move Framer Love to Framer when all of the above is possible and the site has some, trust and traffic and traction. It doesn't have any now. Like no one's really looking at this site yet. Um, and it's not making any money, obviously, either. So, when I can justify moving this to Framer, certainly that's going to happen. That's on the roadmap. And, the other thing I'm trying to do here is help establish relationships with folks who are Framer designers and dev types, which longer term is a goal because I want to be able to bring my audience into their orbit and allow those folks to partner with us. It doesn't have to be the Framer Love community. It can just be any of the communities, Mindful Marketplace, tinybookabout.com, like all those sorts of, we have a new project called Theralist for therapists. All those projects, I really would love to see folks using Framer for their profile pages, their landing pages, their book launch pages, etc. All right. So, part of this is just to kind of build some buzz with other folks in the Framer ecosystem to introduce myself as somebody who may be worth knowing, if you're interested in expanding your own brand as a Framer designer. All right. And finally, if you're listening to this or, in whatever capacity, if you know of a really good Framer theme for curated content that you think would make for a really good match for Framer Love, simply reach out and say hi, or recommend one that you may not have made yourself, but that you really like. And, I'm happy to buy it and take a look at it. If it's a good fit, there are a few that I found that I really like, but I'm just too much of a dum dum right now to like really want to like mess with Framer and some of the more complicated elements that I mentioned above that I don't think Framer does by default right now. So even the really cool directory slash curated Framer themes and templates that I've discovered, a couple of which I've already posted on Framer Love, I just think for my level of understanding, it may be too difficult to use those just yet. But hopefully, in a week or two, a month or two, or whenever, that'll be different. Okie doke. Teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. As always, I appreciate you watching, or in this case, listening, and have a wonderful day.